Welcome back to Stream 1. We're here back inside on the hybrid stage in Marbella, Spain. The next session is about dynamic product ads on Facebook, Pinterest, and Snapchat. And I'm delighted to welcome Gintz, who's going to take us through it. So Gintz, over to you.
Yeah, thank you. Can you see my screen? Let's start with the basics.
Yes, we can. Yeah. It's all working.
Cool. All right. So thank you everybody to joining the stream. Let's get on it. Or should we probably wait a little bit for people to roll in? What do you think, Rolf? Or should I just take it over?
Yeah, you can start. Yeah, we're live on YouTube and Facebook as well, here on Vimeo and within the event platform Brella. So if you have got questions, please ask them in the chat box and I'll put those to Gintz after his presentation.
Perfect.
Yeah, go for it.
Cool. So my name is Gintz. A bit weird to pronounce. I'm originally from Latvia, but now I live in Denmark, Copenhagen, Denmark. So by my job title, I'm a growth hacker. So I help businesses to find better and creative solutions and scale them real quickly. So I'm going to give you a small presentation about dynamic product ads on Snapchat, Pinterest, and Facebook, and probably not only. And if you like the slides and you want to have them afterwards, so you can just contact me on my email, that is gg@confect.io. Cool. So what is Confect? Confect is a software tool that automates content creation for e-commerce brands. So we take a plain content, plain product images, and then we create them good looking and good selling, what is the most important. And we work a lot with major retailers and e-commerce brands. Cool. So I just wanted to know before we start, how many or what is the crowd that I'm talking to? Do we have agencies? Do we have web shops? Or are you working in some other industries? You can probably just write that in the chat. So that would be interesting also for me to know, and for you guys also to know who came here for the dynamic product ads. All right. So you can do that probably along the side of my presentation. So in this short presentation, I plan to go through some facts and statistics about what is a good visual and what sells and why it sells, and then how we can tie that together with the product ads. Next, following up with the content and customer journey. So where do we use these visuals? What place in the customer journey we have to have our customers to sell them what they want? A bit of design rules, a bit of testing, and a bit of tools. Oops, I think I am not in the right slides for some reason. Oops, my apologies. So we're gonna start the beginning with a basic. What is a dynamic product ad? So dynamic product ads you have seen probably most commonly on Facebook, and these are the ones where you can see just a picture with a product, a slide description, and maybe a little bit of price and the shop button now. And commonly these would be the ads that if you have placed something in your cart, then you can see them afterwards. They're very heavily used by e-commerce brands because you have to have products to show there. You have to have a product catalog. So if you want to run a dynamic product ads, you would firstly connect your product catalog to the platform. Either it would be Facebook, Pinterest, or Snapchat. And then Facebook would generate this type of product feed that you would see on your dynamic product ads from the images that you have in your product catalog. And most companies have a stock imagery. So this would be a stock imagery where you see just the product on the white background. And these ads are super good to sell the products. So you have them, and you have the products there, and this is what e-commerce brands use them for. So they're not for building any awareness. They're not for creating the brand loyalty or anything. They're just there for selling. So there is some important things to know about the dynamic product ads. So when we talk about dynamic product ads in Compact, we talk about visuals. So how is the dynamic product ad made? Is it just the one basic one that we have now, which most companies use? And what is the place in customer journey? So what I mentioned before, are we using dynamic product ads to build the brand awareness, or are we quite the opposite, retargeting someone that abandoned our cart and is there in that close proximity of actually buying our product? And we can use the dynamic product ads both on Snapchat, Facebook, Pinterest, and I believe also on TikTok. TikTok is yet just a testing phase, so we have to be a bit patient there. But most companies use these ads quite heavily on Facebook. Also, Facebook is, how to say it, like the most familiar platform for most of the advertisers. But we see also great results and great returns if you use the same product ads on Snapchat and Pinterest. What I would like to mention here is that all three platforms would use the images that you have in your product catalog. So most likely what you have on your web shop is also what you would see in the ads, which could be a good thing and could be a bad thing. So now let's dive in a bit deeper what or how we can make nice visuals or great visuals, or what is actually a great visual for dynamic product ads and actually ads in general. So this is probably very useful if you're running any type of advertisement on social media. So I bet everybody has heard this gazillion times. Content is king, content is important, and it's no exception when you're running paid ads. It's probably even more because you're even putting the money, real money behind it, and you want to see those juicy ROAS and ROI numbers. But there is a challenge, and this challenge is real, especially when you create dynamic product ads on all three platforms, so on Facebook, Snapchat, and Pinterest. The first challenge comes that you have, by default, just the basic visuals. So the visuals I showed you before with the white background and your product. And this is what most of the e-commerce also goes with, because it's just simply way too hard to create matching visuals for all of your product catalog. As you can imagine, some of the larger retailers maybe have a product catalogs of 10,000 of products or more. So the safe bet is to go with these basic visuals where you have product on a white background. And that gives us or brings us to the second challenge, that we are not having any personalization in these ads. So it's just the product and the white background. So we're not showing what is the price, what is the size of the product, what is the discount, what's the brand, what all kind of specs there is of this product. So we're missing out there quite a bit. And then the third challenge is that there are so many channels where you could advertise, and all these channels come in a different formats, different sizing, and so on. So for example, Facebook has one format, so you can't go really full screen on Facebook. What you can do with Snapchat, you can have full screen, and then on Pinterest is completely different. So that's also what a lot of e-commerce gives up, or doesn't go further, or don't really do anything beyond their basic visuals, because it would require them to adapt to different screen sizes and screen dimensions. And that really, if everybody is showing the basic visuals, then you are not really standing out of the crowd, and you're not really supporting your brand. So you don't show your brand assets, you don't show your brand colors, there's no logos and so on. So that is kind of also keeping you back of really enhancing omnichannel experience across all the platforms that you are on. And besides that, content is important. Also, the way how your visuals are made is important. So that also limits your performance possibilities. And there has been done studies where it shows up to 267% better performance results just because you have better visuals. So, for example, here we can see on the left side we have a boring, very corporate-looking ad, and then on the right side we have an actually enhancing, active, dynamic video that grabs our attention. So, and besides that, here are the brand colors, displayed a lot of information about the product and so on. So that all this improves our chances of actually getting better results. So, and following that, I think it's also worth mentioning how do we actually consume the content on these platforms. So here, for instance, I have taken a Facebook of just a random advertisement. So what first draws our attention is the actual visual, and visual has to be appealing. And the issue here is a lot of times the dynamic product ads, just having the product and the white background, we actually skip it, and it merges in the feed, so we don't really notice it. So it doesn't stop the scroll, we pass it by, and then we don't even get to the second point, which is the text and the copywriting that we're trying so hard to sell. Then people don't notice your brand because that's only the third thing in the priority. And then the reactions is something very minimalistic, especially if you're running paid social, where sometimes the campaigns are not so long or so huge for you to gather so many likes or shares on your ads. And Facebook agrees. So Facebook has done some studies and shows that fastest growing advertisers create about up to 11 times more creatives or creative assets, so more pictures, more videos than the average ones. So you have to, or if you want to be in the top tier, you have to create a lot of visuals, and that also allows you to more testing and finding what works, what doesn't work. You're more adaptable to any type of changes. For example, now the recent change with iOS update, you can't depend so much on targeting anymore. Now you have to make sure your ad looks good, grabs the attention, and converts the person. And this is a challenge that we see a lot for brands running dynamic product ads, because it's simply really hard to create such amount of visuals for all your product catalog. Just imagine if you have 1,000 products and now you have to create instead of 4,000 images, you have to create 40,000 images. So that's not fun task for any marketeer or graphic designer. But so there is some performance data that would support that and would tell us why it's actually better to, for example, choose this visual over this or choose this one. But there is also, I have to mention that there could be an overkill. So you can't really over optimize and just go nuts with creating, good looking visuals. So not all the good visuals are good looking, but there are some that are performing better than the others. So I brought you here some examples, just very simple. So in the middle, we have the traditional dynamic product ad. In this case, it's shown on Facebook, but same way would be shown also on Pinterest or on Snapchat. So we have the product in the focus, and then we have just a white background. And then we have two versions of actually the same dynamic product ad, but with already improved visual. So here we have it with some attention grabbers, some review, price, logo, and a background. And here kind of the same, just aligned a little bit differently. So I would like to ask the audience, you could just give a quick vote to which you think brings in the best performance. So does it the white background, or is it the one with a lot of things going on, or this simplistic design? So maybe I give, I don't know, 20 seconds for the ones that want to answer to roll in. And then we're going to go to the next slide to see which is actually the best performing ad in this case. So you can see here that this is the data from one campaign that we did. Basically, the ad with the white background returned 1-to-1, and then the ad with great background or great product visual gave us 3 times more return on our investment. While that actually we can see that if you do the design wrong and you just slap something together because, hey, there was a guy in presentation that told us, hey, you just need to have cool designs, then you can actually harm your performance. So it is important not to only create something that is better looking than the white background, but actually do it correct. And we have seen that too many elements can actually harm brands or performance on the ads. We have also seen that if for example, if you're a luxury brand and you are overly advertising a price, that will also harm your returns. Sometimes having simple designs and showing the right thing at the right time is what we need to really keep in mind. And that goes across the Facebook, Pinterest, and Snapchat. So what is the sum up is that good design with purpose matters. So we have to have a good design that will serve some purpose, not just slap in some attention grabbers or some trust metrics or something like that. So we have to think why we show this and what is the stage of our buyer when we actually show this information. So following that, creating more and better visuals is a challenge. And it is a huge challenge when you are an e-commerce brand with a lot of products. So we have to think how can we do it better, or how can we potentially unlock this potential that I showed you before. So if we're just running the basic ad, we're getting the performance, but we're missing out on this huge performance that we could actually get from our dynamic product ads. So now the question is, how can we do this the right way and the fast way for all our product catalog? Because yeah, you can see yourself 3 times the return. So we have to when we think about that, we have to think, okay, what are the campaigns? Are we doing it on campaign level? Is it scheduled for something? Is it a buyer's journey, or is it a buyer state that we want to go after? Do we have some as an e-commerce brand? Is it something that we have to consider that we have also brick and mortar stores? Do we have different branches? Does the campaigns differ from city to city? How are our design guidelines? So can we do this? Can we not do this? What if there is changes in the product catalog, or maybe we run out of some items? So how can we balance all this? How can we match all the formats? These are all the challenges that e-commerce brands come up with, and trying to figure out how can they figure them out and actually create these dynamic product ads on these platforms that will bring them the results. So here we see a huge gap of people actually just giving up because of these challenges, because they just simply can't figure it out. But I propose that we continue with the customer journey. So to understand that, hey, you actually don't need to create it on all the stages of your customer journey. You don't use dynamic product ads on all stages of your customer journey. You could, but it would definitely not be as effective if you would start to segment what type of advertisement you use on different phases of your customers' buyer journey. So typically we go about AIDA model, so awareness, interest, desire, and action. So if you're an e-commerce brand and you're selling, let's say, shoes, then probably the first thing you would start or you would tailor your content, and also your visual content would be about some tips, guides, or how to do this and that, just so you get your brand awareness out there. once that your customer is past that thing, they come to an interest stage where it's more about inspiration, storytelling, feedback, some reviews. So you see how the big brands, for example, Nike does that. So they capture you on the inspiration and storytelling side. Then desire is, okay, so how do I look, or how this product would fit me, or how my role models are using it. Is there a size that fits me? So here you're already shopping. So you're sort of shopping around and seeing how would it fit for me. Would I
I think we've lost Gintz, so we'll just see if we can reconnect him. The internet is always a fun thing. If you've got any questions for Gintz, please put them in the chat box on the right-hand side. Here he is. Here's Gintz. You're back.
Yeah, perfect.
Perfect. Okay, we lost you there for a second. We'll let you carry on. Thanks, Gintz.
Oh, okay. Where did you lost me? Was it an action stage or?
Just literally about a minute ago. So you'd started to talk about the customer journey. We saw this slide and then you froze.
Okay, cool. Then I will maybe take it one more time through it.
Thank you.
So what I was trying to say here, that the buyer's journeys, we characterize it through AIDA model. We do it for the customers, we do it for the B2B SaaS, so it's a very common model. And the important thing here is to know that not everybody is ready to buy, and it's important for us to notice that and also serve different type of advertisements, serve different type of content, serve different visuals in different stages. So if we are, and you can see brands doing this across the globe and across the funnel, where they have segmented the type of the content, and then there is also different platforms that come into place. And normally, when we're talking about awareness stage, this type of content would be something that is tips, guides, how-tos, and so on. And then in interest stage, we would go about inspiring people, telling them the stories, telling how the product is used, maybe showing some feedback of great uses of these products. And then once they have passed that stage, we can recognize that they have the desire. So they start to look for more details about the product. Would it fit them? Is there the right size? Is there the color they like? And once they surpass that, then it's about action. And so it's more whether there's the right shipping. Is it shipping to their place? Is there a discount code available? What's the price? And how fast can it be delivered? And so on. And following up, it's also important for us to know that not all the type of advertisement and not all the type of social media or any type of media is good for each stage. Clearly, some mediums work better and some work worse. Sorry. So here I have selected some that I see commonly brands using for different stages. So awareness we see commonly is built by influencers, some display advertisements, some Snapchat influencers, or just some organic Facebook posts. Well, then we build up interest with some stories that are driven through the video, or stories, galleries, where we get some inspiration on Pinterest boards and so on. Once we have that, then we know that a lot of desire happens on the search level, where people are searching for specific long tail keywords and maybe looking for a good fit on Pinterest. And it could be definitely other channels as well. But going back to our lovely dynamic product ads, this is where the action stage is where the dynamic product ads really shine, because with the dynamic product ads, we can show the product that they want, and we have already built all this funnel up to this action stage. And now with the dynamic product ads, we can actually show them the product, the specs, the price, the delivery, all the convincing details that they need to know to actually make the purchase. We can surely do that also with other other types of ads or ad mediums, but we really see that dynamic product ads work the best for it. So here is a customer journey example. So how different type of advertisement is used across different mediums, and what this brand is trying to say, or how they're trying to actually nurture their customer. So in the first ad, you can see that they are just talking about their brand. They're just giving an introduction, what they are, what they do, and so on. Maybe dropping some headlines so you can remember them. In the second ad, they're already giving a bit more insight. So who is the one that actually uses our product? So you can relate to yourself. How does the product look like? So is it ecological? Is it salad? And how does it serve? So you have that information you needed to verify it. And then when you surpass that, then we serve you ads with all the information that builds trust. So we are good. We have good customer reviews. We are ecological, and so on. And then when we are in the action stage, we have the clear calls to action and what you call it, discount information, and so on. All the information that actually helps us to convert. So let's dive deeper in how does the dynamic product ads fit into the mix, how we can create customer journey and visuals to match. So how can we make sure that these dynamic product ads are shown on the right time for the right people? And that is the secret key sort of to maximize the outcome of our advertisement efforts. So like I mentioned before, dynamic product ads are great for action stage. So when someone is ready to purchase, you don't need to inspire them anymore. They are there to buy. And that we can commonly set that up with the retargeting. So once we know that they have been on our website, maybe they visited the product page, maybe they even put our products in their cart, but left them there, we can then use these dynamic product ads to retarget them, to remind them, hey, you like this product, maybe you want to buy it. And why it's so important? So the dynamic product ads allows the choice of the customer. So you can display the product that they have seen or that they had interest about together with complementary products. So maybe they found these sneakers that were super nice, but that was not really the right color. So if you're showing some other choice or some other colors, maybe that's going to help them to convert. And on top of that, dynamic product ads are made from catalogs or product catalogs. And these product catalogs hold a lot of information that we can use in the advertisement that is relevant to a buyer's decision making. So, for example, product catalog has the information of product itself, what's the model, what's the brand name, what's the size, price, is there any change in the price? We can build some urgency and scarcity with availability. So, is there only 5 left or something like that? Or we can use the discount or promo codes that also help to make our decision easier. And then, of course, a big consideration always is shipping and return. Does it actually deliver to my place, and so on? And of course, you can build some trust with the brand assets and reviews. So here I have an example of how this is used in the action. So if we would show an ad on the action stage, so standardly what e-commerce store would do, they would show just a plain advertisement with this costume here, and there would be no these things that we just talked in the previous slide. So we're not utilizing all this information in this ad while we are doing it here. And you can see, so we have all the additional information that we have. So we're building a brand, we're showing what level, what model it is, what's the price, all the good specs about it, how great fit it is, and so on. We even showing how good it is to environment, and all this information helps us unconsciously to overcome customer objections. So whenever someone would think, hey, whether this is for me, then this information would greatly help them to make this decision unconsciously. So what is the result? So this type of ads, or the basic ad versus the enhanced ad, we can see that they perform 30 to 400% better in terms of ROAS, so return on ad spend. And they also help us to build loyalty, brand loyalty. So on this ad, for example, you don't know who actually advertises. Is it a brand you trust? Would you buy from it, or is it a competitor brand? So what Closely does here, they have their brand here. So you, even if you don't buy, you remember, hey, next time you want to buy and you want to buy this costume, you know where to get it. That is great thing for the brands, because then you're not looking exactly the same as all the other companies in your field. So you're spending all this great money on advertisement, but you're actually not building a brand in the same time with your dynamic product ads that are at the end of your funnel, which could be a problem. So, and great improvement of improvement on returns. Just to give you an example, if you're spending, for example, let's say $10,000, and 30% improvement is already a great thing. So what is the winning combination? And what we say is that you have to have your pixel installed both from Facebook, Snapchat, and Pinterest. You track your cart abandonment, so you know when someone had a really serious interest about the product, so you can advertise them later on and convince them with enhanced dynamic product ads. And the basic secret, or the real secret, I don't even know how to call it, is that mostly what works on Facebook will also work on Snapchat and on Pinterest. What I have seen a lot is that people go for Facebook. It's simple. Most of their marketing is already there, so they don't have to do anything about it. They can just have it there. But what is actually missing out quite a lot is that you could have great results on Snapchat and Pinterest as well with dynamic product ads. And especially because dynamic product ads, if you use it in this combination, then you're using them really at the end of the funnel, where there is that action stage. And maybe it doesn't come from Facebook. Maybe it's going to come from Snapchat or Pinterest. Then you would have to really look into your demographics, where Pinterest would be great if you're running some clothing brand, or if you're selling household items, while Snapchat would be great if you're going for younger generations and maybe selling electronics. So if you're just biasing yourself on Facebook, then you potentially are missing out quite a lot. And an important thing to mention here is that the product feeds would work almost the same on all three platforms. So it is an easy way how you can really triple down on your marketing efforts and just try Facebook, Snapchat, and Pinterest into a combination with dynamic product ads. And if you connect it together with enhanced visuals, then you have just a nice winning combination. So I think that was the end of the grand presentation. I will just give you one more slide about what is Confect and what do we do. So Confect actually helps brands to make these dynamic product ad visuals look really good and utilize all your product catalog information into your visual. And we do that by connecting to your shop or connecting to your product feed. We support all major platforms, WooCommerce, BigCommerce, Magento, Shopify, and so on. Then we have an ad visual builder where you can actually build these nice visuals based on all the information you have, and we support all formats, all sizes, and so on. And you can then from our channel distribute and update automatically all the changes or anything you have. You can set schedules and design rules so to even more maximize the performance of your ads. And typically you see your results within 10 days and then you never switch back. And thank you for the attention. That I think was it from me. I'm gladly open for any questions or going a deeper discussion about anything.
Thank you, Gintz. So I love the bit at the end there. So you see results in 10 days and then typically people don't go back. That's quite a bold statement, but I guess my follow-up question to that would be, can you tell us a little bit about some of your clients, particularly the ones who maybe were having problems initially, and then with these growth hacking techniques, you've kind of really transformed the results for them?
Yeah, so what we see that a lot of brands, and especially the bigger retailers, where you have huge product catalogs, 10,000s of products and so on, what they do once or what they did 5 years ago in terms of product images, they are still the same, and that's just because there is no resource or there is no finance for just one graphic designer changing price on a product every second day. So that's one challenge that we solve for them. So for example, if they want to show a product visual with let's say a campaign product visual to all of their products just because it's a Black Friday, they don't need to have a graphic designer working day and night to update all the visuals for their campaigns. They can do it in Confect pretty much in half an hour for all their product catalog, and it will update automatically, and there is no mistakes made, so you can't really like forget to add 10 or something like that. So that's one thing that we see a lot, that especially the bigger retailers, they really can save a lot of time on campaigns, and once they see the success on campaigns, then they just start to use it on their everyday marketing. Did that answer your question?
Yeah, it did. Yeah, that's really interesting. I'm also interested in some of the psychology behind the techniques you showed. So you talked about stop the scroll, which I thought was a great phrase. And you asked the audience a question, by the way, about your 3 ads. The answer that the audience picked was number 3. So are there things that you're noticing, I mean, through your tools that kind of just work better? So the reason I liked number 3 was it had the purple background, which was a block of color. Things seemed to pop a bit more. And I think you then went on to explain number 1 just had a busy background, which it did. Number 2 was that kind of starting visual with the white background. So is that true for all products, or is it just Western cultures that like that, or what kind of psychology is there behind this that you're spotting?
So it's a bit different it depends what type of or what range of e-commerce brand or shop you are. So for example, if you're a budget brand, then you really would like to be aggressive with your backgrounds. So show some yellow, red, huge price tags, huge discount tags, and so on. So that would really also resonate with your target audience. So you would show basically what is your unique selling point. So if you're a budget brand, then your unique selling point most of the times is the price or is the discount. So you would not be focusing so much on the brand and so on. You would be really trying to interrupt the scroll and show why should they buy and convince them with the price. And it would be quite the opposite if you would be a luxury brand where actually showing a price and how much you can save on buying a luxury product would actually harm the brand, and the customers would just not buy. You're not, for example, you're not buying a Gucci glasses because they are 50% off. You're buying them because they're cool, right? So that would leave, for example, a negative impact on the brand, because then a luxury brand would start to be associated with the budget brand, detailing. From the other hand, a luxury brand then would focuses more on showing their brand logos, so making sure that their branding is there, their colors is there, their font is there, maybe some product details, that they have used some special material on it, and so on, but not going towards the pricing and maybe some aggressive colors and so on. If it's I don't really have a regional differences if it's works better or worse based on where you're coming from. So from my previous knowledge, I know there is some regions and countries that just react better to colors or color schemes that they know. So for example, that's what I noticed a lot with the Middle East countries, that they really resonate with their own flag colors. So if you're advertising in the Middle East, you would use colors, or you would show the flags, that are for that specific country, because then people would just appreciate you more. And actually, if you think back here in Western world, that Western countries, that it's quite similar, that we would use, for example, our local flags or local, symbols to connect with people, so to say, make it relevant or make it something that you can recognize and relate to.
Well, certainly the Danish flag where you are, or the English flag tonight for the Euros, might resonate.
Definitely.
might resonate until about 9 p.m. I think, European time, depending on whether England win or not. There were a couple of other things that you said, one of which was about iOS and the recent update. And Apple have been making a big thing about privacy, a little bit out there on their own at the moment with that message, which certainly resonates with consumers. How big an impact is that having? Because you almost made me think, like, if I've got a data pool already with that I can use as some analysis, I'm probably okay for a bit until it goes stale. But if I'm just starting out and I'm wanting to collect data, it could actually have quite a big impact on me, the changes that Apple have made.
Yeah, so what we've seen a lot is that you will not be able to rely so much on this targeting data anymore. So what happens is that where it gets taken away in one place, you have to kind of compensate in the other place. So either you focus on building your own list, or so to capturing emails, or what we suggest is that you actually double down on your visuals and actually make really stand out with your advertisement, so people can recognize you. So you're not so dependent on these platform data. And this is probably just the first step. Also, Google has they postponed it to 2023, but I believe a lot of platforms would follow this trend and just harden up the privacy rules, and soon we will not be able to depend so much on the targeting options that we have. So we have to look into other areas that we have more control of, and visuals could be one of those.
Well, Gens, it's been fascinating talking to you, really interesting. Thank you so much for your presentation.
Thank you.
we've got to move on to the next session. So the next session will be in 15 minutes time. I'm going to be jumping across to stream 2, which is rediscovering evergreen verticals and lead generation. But if you are interested in, there are actually 3 stages running at the moment. So if you're interested in the other stages, just click Umbrella on the drop down box. If you're watching on Facebook, that's just stage 1 and 2, and you'll also find us on YouTube. Just search for TES Affiliate Conferences and you should find the channel. Gintz, thank you very much, and to everybody else, see you at the next session.
Thank you. See you guys.
In the past 10 years, Crack Revenue has been working hand in hand with affiliates. We feel blessed to have thousands of brand ambassadors across the world that proudly promote both Crack Revenue and our most profitable brands. Because of this, we want to help them succeed by doing everything we can, from dedicated affiliate managers to 24/7 live chat support, to newsletters and blogs packed with insight and expert advice. We also update our Crack Revenue platform on a monthly basis, providing more tools, more features, and more creative content for affiliates to use. Not only do we want affiliates to follow the whale, but become one as well.